learning as much as I could, going through each video that you've got, rewatching them all. But it's just like the notes on my second monitor is crazy. It's just, but if you get invested in it, you put your time and effort into it, it's going to pay off. It really is so far. Like, it's been great.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's video. So this one is Conrad's story. Conrad is one of our students who took the risk and invested into our coaching program roughly about 2.5 months ago. His story is really interesting because he had no experience before joining our coaching program in OFM whatsoever. He comes from a dropshipping background. So if you're watching this and you've had experience or you ever thought about doing dropshipping, this one is going to be interesting for you. But Conrad has had huge success within the first 2.5 months already. He's been able to replace his 9 to 5 and do this full time already in that short amount of time, which is cool. So without further ado, hope you enjoy this video. If you're interested in learning more about our coaching, and what do we actually offer and how can we help you build an OFM from scratch, from 0 to 10,000 a month, go ahead and check out the links in the description. Other than that, enjoy the video. The same as everybody else, always obviously start with yourself. Give everybody a bit of context about who you are and what is it that you do, how long you've been doing it for.
Yeah, bro. So name's Conrad, 22 years old, living in Australia. Pretty much started off the exact same way as you, bro. Got just me and my mum. Haven't got a father figure really. Really sort of, it's taken a while to get into the swing of things in a way, but I always knew that I needed to start a business in a way, just any sort of way, So then I got into clothing, made this brand. It was all right, and then realized that it wasn't going too well and started dropshipping. Dropshipping wasn't going too good. And then I came across your TikToks, and I seen in one of them you said all you're trying to do is retire your mum, and you told us about your whole sort of upbringing and everything you went through. And then seeing the business model you started, I'm like, bro, I got to do it. This is exactly what I got to do. So I ended up joining. And then, yeah, it's been a pretty fucking gnarly journey so far. About 2.5 months into it so far. And yeah, it's been good.
Wicked. All right, let's break it all down. So you started with a clothing brand. Was that your first thing? And then you went into dropshipping, right?
Yeah.
And so the clothing brand is, it's funny. I think most people, when they start out in business, for a lot of people, they're like, I'm going to build the sickest fucking clothing brand and I'm going to be like the next Supreme or right.
Yeah, it's like, when you're into the gym and all that, you just want to like get all that stuff going. Yeah, that's what I tried.
Yeah. But clothing brands is probably one of the most difficult businesses to succeed in because the profit margins aren't high and you probably have the most competition than any other like young business, right?
Yeah.
Which is quite cool. But okay, so and then you went into dropshipping. Tell everyone, just before we obviously jump into OFM, because that's what majority of this call is going to be about. Tell us a little bit about your dropshipping experience, because most people, I wouldn't say most actually, but there's a lot of people in our coaching program who come from the dropshipping background. And also a lot of people that watch my videos, they maybe are doing dropshipping right now or they're looking to get into it. Just I'd love to hear from your side. What was your journey like and what made you think, do you know what, fuck this, I want to do OFM?
It got to the 6-month mark and it's just like, the sales, I'm putting in 110%, everything that I've got, and it's just, everything takes time, and I understand that. But, it gets to a point when it just becomes a bit ridiculous when you've got nothing going. And I thought, no, this just isn't for me. I don't really enjoy this anyway. It's just not what I'm looking for. Like I tried so many different items and all these other products for sale, and it just wasn't going well. So I ended up binning that, and came across OFM, and it's been the best thing so far.
Good. That's good to hear. Yeah. I mean, 6 months, you done dropshipping for 6 months, right?
Yeah.
That's definitely more than enough time to really figure out, is it going to be for me or not? Like, am I enjoying it or not? So that's fair enough. I think some people that try something for like a week or two or like a month, it's just not enough time to figure out if you're going to you're going to be good at it or not.
Yeah.
And I know what you mean. I personally have never done dropshipping, but I know a lot of my friends who have, and they constantly always like on that chase for like, what's the next big product? What's the next thing I can build? And it's just constantly that kind of battle of figuring it out. And then you have to rebrand it all, and then you have to build a new site and all this shit. Whereas with OFM, you mean you're starting to build it from scratch, and then you don't have to switch it. It's just the same thing. You're actually building a fucking company, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's great.
So with OFM, then talking about that, then, bro. First of all, kind of, I want to do it in like a chronological order. So
Yep.
when you found out about it through, you said, I think my TikToks, which is quite funny. For context, by the way, for everybody watching, I don't actually post my TikToks myself. I don't know how to use TikTok. And it's crazy because most of you guys come from TikTok, which is nuts. I
Yeah.
just have a team that do it for me.
Yeah.
But when you found my TikToks and you found out about OFM, I'm assuming you weren't running an OFM before, so you had no experience in that industry at all, right?
Nah, bro, I didn't even know it existed.
Okay, cool. And what made you want to be interested in starting the industry, let alone actually what made you go, fuck it, I'm going to trust this guy, I'm going to invest into his program and take the risk?
Definitely the fact that how scalable it is. Like, if you can manage to perfect outreaching and you've got a great marketing strategy, you're gold. You are good to go. If you can manage those two things and you can get them going well, mate, you're pretty much set. And it took me about, I'd say, 2 months of actually researching what OFM was. Once I seen your videos, it took me a couple months to really sort of learn everything on my own. Just like Googling everything, YouTube videos, all your YouTube videos, all the other guys, just writing down as much notes as I can. Um, and then yes, bro, as soon as I joined up to the course, bro, it all just connected the dots. Every question that I had, everything that was going through my mind, it just connected everything, and it's all like the basics and more understood.
Brilliant.
And from there, it just it brought up the drive to work even harder, just
Mhm.
through the roof. And
Brilliant,
so it's
brilliant.
great.
That's it's crazy, bro, that you said that, because whenever I do podcasts or when I'm just talking to somebody and they're like, well, what's the point of people buying courses? And I had the same mindset when I was starting out, or coaching programs in general, because, and I say this myself, like I'm not hiding it, like everything, like all the information is there online for free. If you look hard enough, everything is there online, right? But the point of a mentorship program is exactly like you said, bro. It's just all of these points and all these different bits of information all around, online. Is we just bring it to one place that's clear and concise in a chronological order, and we just teach you, right, step one, do this, then da, 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 and that's exactly what you've done, and you follow that, which is great to hear. That's really, really good to hear, and thank you for saying that as well. By the way, that makes us want to work even harder as well.
Yeah,
Cool.
great.
So you took the risk, you made the investment, and you joined. And at that point, you had been doing research for about 2 months, but you hadn't have actually started. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. And yeah, so give everybody a bit of context then. And you said, I think you've only been in a coaching program for like 2 months now, 2.5.
yeah. 2.5 months roughly.
Cool.
But yeah, bro. In my first 2 weeks, I'd do my normal NPC job, finish at around 3 o'clock, go to the gym, come home, and then just work on it, bro, till like 11, 12, 1 in the morning, just non-stop.
Love that.
Put the hard work in, bro, and 2 weeks later, I've got 4 models. Like every single model was from about every different possible outreach method that was taught. So the first one was contract sales. Bought my first contract from there. Thought, you know what, fuck this shit. I'm just gonna go for it. Did that. Also, sorry. Do I want to cut down the swearing or?
No, whatever.
You
Say
don't
whatever you
care?
want, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, no. It's
I don't
just
make
it's
money
just
from
Aussie, bro.
I
Like,
don't make money from YouTube anyway. I don't give a fuck.
yeah, cool. So it's just a bit Aussie. So
All
I
good.
don't know. Fucking anyway. Yeah, bro. So I bought the first contract from there. The second model came from word of mouth after delivering results. She was really happy, and forwarded her friend onto me.
Okay.
Started managing her. Then the third came from someone who I knew. Just straight up asked them, "Hey, look, would you be interested in starting an OnlyFans? I run an agency, would love to give you some tips and help you out, start onboarding you, get the setup going. And she said, oh, I'll give a think about it. Started giving her a bit of free sauce, you know what I mean? Pretty much what the deal is, what my other models were doing. And she's like, yeah, okay, let's go for it.
That's good. Yeah.
And then, just the fourth model was from Instagram outreach. Just came up with my own little method that I got going. Started using that. That's probably the one reason that it probably took off really well. And then just had 4 models, but why you're still working an NPC job and you're still in it, but it's hard to manage 4 models. Like that's really when you sort of got to start scaling it quick. So from there, I started taking every Friday off work, just working the agency all day. Like, I mean, all day from like 7 a.m. to like 9, 10, 11. It was ridiculous. I was just putting in the hours, just learning as much as I could, going through each video that you've got, rewatching them all. But it's just like the notes on my second monitor is crazy. It's just, but if you get invested in it, you put your time and effort into it, it's going to pay off. It really is so far. Like, it's been great.
Fucking bro, this is so good to hear. And you know what's crazy is because like as you're saying this, like it's given me flashbacks of when I was starting out. Granted, when I first started business, it wasn't OFM, it was SMA. So it's a little bit, of a different industry, but I was exactly the same, bro. I was working as an estate agent or realtor. I don't know how you guys call it in Australia. And the same thing, as soon as I'd get home, I would just work till about 1, 2 in the morning. And I'd also take off like Fridays as a holiday. I remember they were asking me, they were like, so why do you want to take off 4 consecutive Fridays every single
Yeah.
week?
Yeah, I got questioned that as well, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really crazy. That you said off camera, by the way, for everybody watching off camera, you said that our stories are very similar. So I see the patterns already. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. And also I don't want to just like fly over it because we need to speak about it. You said you started again with context, no experience. You just learned a little bit from YouTube here and there. And when you started, after 2 weeks, you already got your first model, then you got your second one and third one, and then the fourth one you found yourself as well. In a matter of like 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Incredible, insane, bro.
Yeah. No, so you go.
I was just gonna say, for me personally, like coming from an SMA background, and I would teach people how to do that back in the day. On average, bro, somebody like yourself who's starting from no experience, zero, no case studies, nothing, right? On average, it would take about 2.5, maybe 3 months to get your first client. So we've kind of in this industry, you shorten that time gap from 2 or 3 months to like 2 or 3 weeks, which is a
Yeah.
very common pattern that I've interviewed so many students now. Actually, to start uploading these, and it's the same thing. It's the same thing that typically takes about 2 3 weeks because that's actually not the difficult part. The difficult part is how do we actually scale their income? How what do we actually do here, right? And that's what you mentioned as well. That's what you're finding difficult, which is let's talk about it. So you got 4 models right now. And also just so I have some context as well, do you still have your 9 to 5 or have you quit that? You're just planning to quit it soon?
Um, so 2 things real quick. I don't have 4 models anyway. I had to drop them off because it was just too much.
Okay.
So I ended up scaling down to 2. Um, just told the other 2 like, hey, look, I really don't have the time. And then just sold their contracts. So I got 2 at the moment. Um, and also, yeah, with the job, taking every Fridays off, they actually didn't like it and they fired me. So I thought, well, what's there to do? Because I refused to work for someone else. So I thought,
Yeah.
you know what, fuck this, man. I'm just gonna start working for myself. Gonna full send it, give it everything that I've got, and here I am, bro. Just 2.5 months in, sort of got thrown into the deep end, and we're just rolling with it, just going for it.
Bro,
So
Conrad, I'm telling you now, brother, that's a fucking blessing in disguise. It's the same
oh,
thing that happened to
seriously,
me. Same thing that happened to me. Yeah.
yeah,
It's funny because
that was crazy.
yeah, go
So
ahead,
you go.
go ahead, bro.
Oh, it's like because your parents, they all and your friends, they were just like, oh, they just want the best for you. So like, oh, you should go get another job. You should go do this.
Yeah.
Go back to the 9 to 5. Try and get a job back. Nah, nah. If you've really got a goal and you really want to strive for that, bro, just run with it and go for it. It's exactly what you did when you started. You
Hmm.
know. So yeah, I know what
It's
you're talking about.
especially once you get the taste for being your own business owner and kind of doing your own thing, you can never go back to listening to somebody telling you to do something. So,
Way, bro. There's no way.
but I'm telling you now, I'm sure you already realize it, but it's honestly a blessing in disguise, bro. For me, it was also like, like for me, the last 9 to 5 that I had was the estate agency job. And at that point, my agency was doing roughly about 2,000, 3,000 a month, like profit I was making.
Mhm.
So it was just about enough to like pay my bills, my car, my rent and stuff like that. So I could have
Yeah.
taken a risk, but for whatever reason, I was just being a pussy and I didn't quit my 9 to 5 until they basically fired me. And I was like, do you know what?
Yeah.
I was the same as you. Do you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna have to go all in.
Fuck this.
And it works out. And it works out. So that's great. So now you're doing this full time already, right? After two and a
Yeah,
half
full
months.
time. Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking
So
incredible.
I'm bringing in about the same that you said, around 2 or 3K a month so far, which is the one model.
Cool.
I'm probably going to start outreaching. Oh no, I've got two models. But I'm probably just going to keep it at two and just, keep learning, keep going through
Good.
everything, and understand that the service that I provide, I've got full understanding, and can back myself up for when I bag a big model.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
Good.
it's going to keep it at
Good.
two until yeah.
And you're also doing the right thing, by the way, bro. I know you know this because you're in our coaching program, so you hear this all the time. But to somebody who's maybe watching this and isn't in OFM, and they maybe have like the mindset of a typical business, which is like typically you need more and more clients, more clients, more clients in order to scale the business. In this, it's actually the opposite. Even for us, we've recently scaled down as well, right? Since making the move, because you can have one model making you 10, 15,000, like you collecting that amount of money from one model rather than having 10 models only making you like 1,000, 2,000 each, right? It's less headache, less problems. It just becomes a lot more lean, right? And your profit margins increase as well because you have less staff
Yeah.
members, less things to worry about. So you're doing the
Yeah.
right thing, brother. In terms of your team, then how's? I know you're only in early stages. You're literally 2.5 months in, so I'm not expecting anything. But do you have a team already, or is that something you're working on?
I did. I started with a close mate of mine, um, and that was going great for the first couple months until I realized, after learning a bit more, that the jobs that he was doing, you can really just do yourself with programs that you can schedule posts with. Like that's how easy this shit is.
Mhm.
Like having a mate do your jobs, it can be replaced by just an online service that is pretty much for free. So I'm back into this just solo by myself at the moment.
Cool.
Um, got a team of chatters so far that are running 24/7. Yeah, it's pretty much the only team I got really. It's just me and them.
Brilliant, bro.
Going for it.
And literally just like that is how me and Harry scaled to 10,000, just like ourselves. That's all you really need at small scale. Once you start to get bigger, you'll need to hire kind of account managers, and these are the people.
Yeah, definitely.
These are the guys that will be obviously in charge of organizing GGs, shout outs, actually making sure the girls doing the content and so on. Um,
Mm,
but yeah, for now, when you're just starting out and you're working at a small scale, absolutely fine. You got that going perfectly. Cool.
yeah.
So that's kind of been your beginning stages, your early stages. So far, everything is sounding perfect. Everything is falling into place, not only with the business but also your personal life. The fact that you get to do this full time now, which is fantastic. Um, I guess I wanted to, because again, people will be watching this on YouTube or wherever online, and some people will be obviously curious about the actual coaching, right, and the mentorship. Like, what's it like in behind the closed doors, right? Because we only let people in after, of course, an investment, because we don't run a charity.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
from your point of view, bro, obviously be completely honest, the good, the bad, if there is any. There isn't. I'm joking. Just let everybody know. Just let everybody know like your honest thoughts and your experience so far with the coaching program. How's it been for you?
Yeah, man. So I'm in the Discord, and also got the Aurora Coaching Pro. The Aurora Coaching Pro has been really good so far. Everything's there you need. All those videos, they're great. The Discord is probably the biggest one that I feel like has helped. Just the community and having everyone there with you. Just ask a question and bam, someone's got your back.
Yeah.
Or like if you're struggling with outreach, someone can give you a tip. But yeah, I'd say that's probably the best part of everything so far. It's just the Discord, because you can just network with so many people, and there's a lot of great minds inside. Helped me out a lot.
Yeah.
One of the blokes inside there is he's scaled very well. He's helping me here and there, and yeah, it's more so the people that you know instead of what you know. Been learning that recently, but yeah, it's been really good.
In service-based businesses, brother, just I'm only saying this because by the sounds of it, this is your first service-based business, right? Because before you had
Yeah,
dropshipping, then you had a clothing brand.
yeah,
Especially in service-based businesses, bro, it's all about who you know rather than what you know. Promise you.
mm,
Because you're dealing with people, you need to know more people and they know different tactics, different skills. They might know somebody who you could start working with and partner with and so on. So having a community is one, fantastic for that. But then two, like you said it yourself, bro, there's just a lot of great minds and you always talk to each other, network with each other. Building any
mm,
business online is a bit fucking like lonely because like we're you said it yourself, you probably sit at your laptop till like fucking 1-2 in the morning, right? From you
yeah,
wake up
bro.
in the morning till early morning night,
Yeah,
right? Like
bro.
you're still fucking at your laptop by yourself sitting in that fucking bedroom, right? I was the same, brother, for fucking months if not years, in and out. So it gets pretty fucking lonely if you don't like deep it. But if you have like a
Yeah,
community that you can jump on calls with, network with, speak with, definitely do that. One thing that I literally just done another student interview literally yesterday, just before you, and he said the same thing by the way about Discord and the community being one of the best things ever. One thing that
mm,
I advised to him, and I'll say it to you as well, brother, is really leverage it. I don't know if you are already, but jump on calls with these guys, right? So you know how we do 2 Zoom calls with the group every Tuesday and Thursday? That's fantastic.
yeah,
Obviously, show up there, ask us questions. That's great. Do your thing. However, if I was in your shoes, bro, I would be like finding the people who are really active in the group, who are really running their agency and making decent amount of money, and start jumping on Zoom calls with them, just one on one. Because I can guarantee you, like if you do that every single day, bro, for the next 30 days, like the skill set you're gonna fucking grow is incredible. Like you're gonna
mm.
learn very, very quickly. So if you're not doing that, I'd start doing that as well. I recommend you because then you'll teach them something, they'll teach you something, and then you guys will just get better together.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, cheers, bro. I'll probably start doing that.
Absolutely. And then one more thing that was in my head as well, just a question, because I'm curious. I always like to kind of ask this is after you made your initial investment into our coaching program, have you already made your investment back?
Just about. I'm
Yeah.
I'm a little I'm a little shy of it, because I've made back what I'm purchased the course for, but I invested more into buying a model, and I wasn't able to keep her
Mm-hmm.
because I had so much stuff going on, and I rushed into it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just rushed straight into it way too much, and yeah, she just wasn't too happy. So
Mm-hmm.
that was my first L. So she left, and that was yeah, took it as a learning curve. Thought, you know what, fuck it. Oh well,
A lot
I'll
of
make it
people
back soon.
do make that mistake because it's so easy, right? Especially if you have that money laying around, you pay for the connection and boom, you have a client to work with straight away. But what you can't buy is the experience and the knowledge, right? You have to learn that by yourself. So we do hear that a lot. But I'm glad that you already made the investment back for just the coaching side of it. Because again, I know a lot of this is also why like our pricing. I mean, it's relative, right? But to me, I think in comparison to what else is out there, it's not really that expensive. And it's pretty easy to make the money back. I mean, it's only been like 2.5 fucking months, and you're already doing what you're doing, which is fucking insane. That's really, really good to hear. Cool. Next part, then I wanted to quickly talk about. I normally do this off camera, so I normally end the interview here. But I want to,
Mhm.
if you don't mind, by the way, it's completely up to you. But I'd love to hear like what is it the one thing that perhaps you're not struggling with, but what's the thing that you're working on next, and maybe I can give you advice on and help you get to that next level.
I'd say it's more so just finding like the right chatters. Like, you can chat yourself, but when you've got so much other stuff to do, it's something that you just want to pass on to someone who's actually got proper experience. I've been struggling a bit with that lately. I got fucked over by one of them who just overworked the account, um, and invoiced me more than they even made the account.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, bro, what the fuck do you want me to do with that?
I'm glad you double checked it.
I,
Yeah.
I told you, like the hours to work that I could afford, and you just went and did more anyway without making money. So
Yeah.
that's fucked. Um, Yeah, it's more so just that, bro. Like trying to find the right chatters has been a fucking pain in the ass.
Cool, cool. Okay.
Mm.
So, in terms of chatters, so a couple of things that we've found, and it really varies, right? There is no right or wrong. We've worked with chatters from the UK, Europe, also third world countries like Philippines, South America. There is no right or wrong. They just all have pros and cons. Okay.
Mm.
So working with somebody, so let's just say your model is, let's just say she's in the UK. Finding a chatter in the UK, there's massive pros because one, their English is perfect. They won't have grammatical mistakes, spelling mistakes, etc. Secondly, they're in the same time zone as your model, right? Because
Yeah.
most of your model's fans will most likely be from the UK, if not around Europe. So
Yeah.
the peak times of the account will be the same as where the chatter lives. Okay. And there's so many other ones, right? Culturally, like it's a good fit because at the end of the day, your chatter and your model, they do have to work together really, really well. And if it's a bit awkward and they don't really get along with each other, then it doesn't really create a great atmosphere. So there's so many pros. Cons is obviously the biggest one is price. So somebody in the UK, they're gonna cost a lot more than perhaps somebody in the Philippines or South America, right?
Yeah.
Couple of other kind of things that I've noticed, gay guys like are great at it, like because they just know how to do it. They just know how to talk to
Mm.
guys. So that's something that you can look into. We have experimented quite a lot with working with chatters in the Philippines. They
Mm.
are definitely hit and miss, mainly due to the fact that availability typically is okay, but two, we hear this often. It's like, oh, I've had a power outage, my Wi-Fi is gone, or something
I
comes
got
up.
that one. Yeah.
So it's a very common thing in Philippines and South America as well. So that the second thing is their English. So if you are going to hire somebody who isn't natively speaking like English, make sure before you jump on a Zoom call with them to interview them, make sure you extensively for like 2 days you just chat with them on WhatsApp or wherever, like you message them, right? Because the reason why you're doing that is just so you can see if you can start seeing like spelling mistakes and grammatical errors. If you can, by the
Yeah.
way, this is a huge tip. If you can within those 2 days see that he or she has a lot of mistakes just in messaging you, don't even bother with a Zoom call because you got to realize,
Yeah.
bro, if he or she is making mistakes with you already, where she should be impressing you through the WhatsApp, then what's she going to do on an OF, right? Um, Now, beside everything I've just mentioned there, beside the point, like whether you're going to hire somebody from a first world country or a third world country, what needs to happen is obviously qualifying them. So jumping on a Zoom call, I recommend you interview at least 10. Like bare minimum, you should interview at least 10 before you like
Okay.
choose that one.
Yeah.
Um, Secondly, once you do qualify them, I would get them to sign an agreement as well. Again, we can, if you want, message me or Harry after this call. We can send you over an agreement. It just protects you and the chatter and the model from a legal point of view. And also, especially if they're from a third world country, when you have a legal contract in place, there is a sense of like authority and they just see you a lot more credible and they actually will listen to you a lot more. And if there's a legal contract in place, rather than just like word of mouth, like hopefully you can do it, right?
Yeah.
And then last but not least, and this is the most important one, bro. And this goes for any hire, by the way, any hire in any business. This is the most important part, which is having an SOP in place. SOP stands for standard operating procedure. It's like a fancy fucking nerdy business term to say a to-do list or like how to, like a tutorial, right? So no matter who you're hiring for, no matter what role, you must have a very clear and precise SOP in place. And it needs to be so fucking clear and precise, bro, to the point where, like, if you give it to a kid, like, a kid could understand how to do something. So, like, to give you an
Yep.
example, let's just say, as an example, you were writing an SOP about how to do outreach on Instagram, right? So instead of like step one being um, message like open up and message this girl on Instagram, it should literally be like step one, open up Instagram. Step two, this is my username.
Okay.
Step three, this is my password, right? Step four, you go in the search bar, which is this icon here. Step four, you tap on the search bar here and you type this. And like it's
Yeah.
every single little step. And what I recommend you doing, brother, because you said about chatters, right? um, Start already creating this SOP because it typically takes about a week to create one, like a good one, because you need to go over it every single time. Like as you're doing that certain thing, so chatting, for example, you need to make sure like you keep in mind the SOP that you're creating, and you need to make sure that it's up to date. And as you do something, oh, I need to add this actually as a part to the SOP. And the more
Mhm.
detailed it is, the better it'll work with the new hire.
Yeah, okay.
Any questions
Sweet
about
as
that?
well. Um, do you include what to say and how to say it in that, or is that that they just do that?
So this is specifically about the chatter you're talking about, yeah?
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Okay, so this is something that we're going to be releasing soon, by the way, for the entire course. We've just been super fucking busy, because we want to introduce like an actual chatting service. So we have a bunch of chatters that we can easily partner with you guys, but we just don't have the time to train them ourselves, etc. So one thing that me and Harry are doing is essentially creating like a little mini course just for the chatters. It's not something that we're selling, nothing like that. It's just for the
Mhm.
chatters to go through. So to kind of answer your question, in this course, we teach obviously what is the platform, how to navigate the platform. So this is what you should have, by the way, bro. What is the platform, how to navigate the platform, and like extensively how to navigate. Like every button is explained. Um,
Yeah.
and here's the thing as well: if you're going to do that, don't make it like 1 2 hour long video of like explaining the whole software, because no one's going to fucking sit there and watch that, right? So you need to cut it up into like 10-minute 15-minute videos explaining like different segments and different parts of the software. So
Mhm.
cool. So that's the software aside, which is the easy, that's the simple part. The next part is the psychological journey that the fan will go through, right? Before we talk about the what do you type, we need to teach them what is the psychological journey that the guy or the girl, that is the fan, right, from the other side of the screen, what is it that they're going through? Like, how do they end up, like, this is literally what we're going to teach, how do they end up on OnlyFans? Why did they maybe end up on OnlyFans, and what is it that they're trying to get out of there, right? So you need to explain to them like the psychological journey. Once you've fully explained that, also within the psychological part, we also talk about like I guess this kind of entails about why they're on there, right? And what do they want to get out of it, which is kind of how to build climax, right? And how to build like anticipation, right? Because that is literally where you make the money, right? Because if
Yeah.
your model just sends across like the video or a photo for like $10 and that's it as the first piece of content, then well, the guy or the girl is not going to be bothered to carry on chatting, right? So that then the next part, which is obviously what you're basically asking about, the important part, which I believe actually the psychological is more important than the messages. But the
Mhm.
messages we don't give them, and there is literally copy and paste scripts, but we tell them not to use it. Instead, we actually give them like 3 different variations within each part. Every single conversation is the same structure, and we teach them the structure, but we don't teach them like exactly what to say here and there, because every person you speak to, they'll have different things. They'll be interested in different things as well, right?
Yeah.
Um, so hopefully, and then we also teach like, and then there's loads of bonuses such as like how to reactivate a sub, how to make sure, how to retain a sub, how to send out mass pay-per-views, and so on and so on.
Yeah. Yeah. Sweet.
Awesome. So yeah, hopefully we're bringing it out soon. But anyway, I don't want this call to become like a coaching lesson for everybody, because this is just a quick YouTube video showcasing your success. I want this to be focused on you. But honestly, brother, really good to chat with you. I'm glad you're a part of the group. I see you in the Discord as well myself, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
You're killing it. You're doing the right thing as well by narrowing it down to like 2 models and focusing on that. So you're on
Yeah.
path of to success, man. This is really good to hear.
I'm glad.
So
I'm
cool.
glad to hear it from you.
Thank you for
Sweet.
jumping on, Conrad. For everybody watching this video on YouTube, I'll leave Conrad's link all below in the description, maybe his agency, his Instagram. So if you're a potential model looking to work with Conrad, definitely reach out to him. I'll leave his links below, and I'll see you guys on the next one. See ya.